All right, we're set. Thank you, folks. Welcome out here to Gatorland. We just want to thank everybody so much for showing up here. This is a real special day in our very rich history here at Gatorland as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of our icon here, the Gator's mouth. Let me start here. I want to say a welcome and a shout out to a bunch of our friends that we have showing up here. We've got a bunch of our neighbors from Tupperware who have been great. There they are. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming out. We got Tracy and I think Larry from the Kissimmee CVB. You guys out there, thanks for showing up. Our CVB folks. Also down south of the county line there, we've got all of our friends from the chamber. Cindy and the group back there, thanks for showing up. Ken, good to have you folks with us there. And every time I start doing this, I usually stomp all over it and forget somebody. But if we did, my apologies. Y'all can slap me afterwards. We just great to have all of our friends and neighbors here. I've got one special guest I'm going to talk more about here in just a moment. But I want to start off and also introduce a couple of family members that we have here. Gatorland was started back in 1949 by Owen and Pearl Godwin. They had 4 children, 2 girls, 2 boys. The girls couldn't be with us here today, but we've got both sons. We've got their oldest son, Owen Jr., Uncle Owen, right there. We've also got their baby boy, my father-in-law, Frank. Stand up and give a shout out, Frank. And you know, it's a family-run business. Howdy, folks. Y'all want to stop and hang out a little while? No? I love it. Anyway, we've got 3 of the grandkids here with us today: Heather, Diane, and Tony. Come on, give a big wave there, guys. And like I say, it's a rich family business. We got one great grandkid with us here today. I think my daughter's running around here. Chelsea, hi, honey. It just keeps going on around here, doesn't it? I'll tell you what, like I said, Gatorland was started back in 1949, but in around 1962, they remodeled the gift shop. And Owen Sr. said, you know, Frank, we need some sort of awesome entryway, something that will grab the attention of the folks driving down Orange Blossom Trail, which at the time was the main thoroughfare through Central Florida here. So Frank got to thinking about it, and as the history and the legends go, he took an alligator head home and set it on his coffee table. We're assuming it didn't have a body attached to it at the time and how long the head had been off, but history's a little fuzzy on the details at that point. But he studied that head for a little while and said, you know what, I'm going to design this open alligator mouth with the big red eyes and the big teeth, and that'll just be something awesome for people to walk through and come into the gift shop. So he drew it out on a piece of paper, and that's the way a lot of things were built around Gatorland back in the 50s, the 60s, and 70s. Frank would draw it on a piece of paper, everybody would look at it, and they'd go out and build it. So he got a welder and some guys that knew how to plaster, and they came out here and they'd weld a piece of rebar together, step back, look at it, look at that picture. If it didn't work, they'd cut it off, weld another piece of rebar on there, and start plastering it up, and then ended up with what you see here today. And it's a bit of an architectural phenomenon, a masterpiece there. Let me just point out to you, it's got that heavy mouth that overhangs. What's interesting is there's nothing on the back side that offsets the weight of that mouth. There's no cantilever, there's no tie backs or tie rods that come out of the back of it. It's kind of a little bit of an engineering marvel there, and we asked Frank a number of times how he did it, and he just won't tell us. So it's gonna be his secret there, I guess, for a long time. But it is a sturdy piece of architecture. Despite all the economic ups and downs that this mouth has experienced over 50 years with recessions and gas crises and large attractions moving in and all the other competition here, but it's seen a lot of curveballs from Mother Nature. This mouth has seen hurricanes and tornadoes that dropped down around it, thunderstorms, rainstorms, and most notable back in 2006 we had a fire. As many of you know, it burned down this whole building. Everything burned down except for that mouth. And fire at one point was shooting out that mouth, and we thought for sure that we had lost it, but when all the smoke cleared, we had some structural engineers look at it, and they opened up the backside, took a peek in there, and said, you know, it's good, it's fine. We covered it back up, and it's still standing today. So not only are we just proud that it was standing here, but one other thing that Frank led the company for over 20 years after his father passed away in 1975, and he did just a fantastic job putting Gatorland on the map and making folks all over the world recognize that name of Gatorland. But he also understood that this mouth that he created was our brand, and it was our icon. And another brilliant thing that Frank did was he trademarked it. That open mouth Gator mouth is a registered trademark, and there had been a number of occasions where we've had to make some of our friends around Florida close their gator mouths and not use them as entrances, because this is ours, baby. This is Gatorland, and we're very protective of that mouth. So just a little bit of history there. We were gathering a couple of weeks ago and talking about this presentation, and we started kicking around, who in the community would we want to come out and help us inaugurate this 50th anniversary. And I immediately raised my hand and I said, man, guys, we got to get Mayor Dyer out here. See, Buddy Dyer, as many of you know, Mayor of Orlando, he's been that mayor for 10 years now, and just doing a fantastic job up there. He's one of the great things and the cool things about Mayor Dyer is he reaches out across the lines. He's worked with Orange County and the tourism community to help create these public venues that are now changing the face of downtown Orlando. And that's just one of the many, many things that he has done and spearheaded and led in the development and transformation of our city and making it truly a world-class city. And what many people don't know about Mayor Dyer is, although he was born in Orlando, he was raised in Kissimmee. He went, like Frank and Uncle Owen there, he went to Osceola High School. And I've had the unique pleasure of sitting with Mayor Dyer on a number of community events and boards around town and at some luncheons. And every time I am, he leans over to me and he says, Mark, I got to tell you this story about Gatorland. And he starts sharing it with me. So, from my perspective, it was a no-brainer. We needed a community leader to come here, and Buddy's part of the family, and he's the one we wanted. So I'm going to quit talking because I don't know what he's going to talk about, but I'm just keep talking more. I'm going to stomp all over it right here. I always do. So come on, please welcome with us, give some love, our Mayor, Buddy Dyer.
Thank you, Mark. It's really a privilege for me to be here today, having grown up in Kissimmee, to celebrate one of the iconic features. I guess it's really in Orange County, but I consider it to be in Kissimmee, but one of the iconic features. And whenever I have visitors from out of town, first place I always send them is Gatorland. And we had the U.S. Conference of Mayors here in June this year, and we had about 300 mayors from around the country, 1,300 total attendees, and we had several day trips for the families. And the one that sold out and had the most excitement and people were talking about when they came back was their trip to Gatorland. I can honestly say over Disney World or SeaWorld or anywhere else, they were truly excited about coming to Gatorland. And the story that I like to tell Mark, I knew Margie Gentry when I was growing up real well when we were in high school. She's actually a bit younger than I am, but I was home from college one summer and I was working at Circus World 4 days a week, and Mel Gentry was talking to me about what I needed to be doing the other 3 days a week and suggested that I come work out at Gatorland. And I asked him, well, what would I be doing? He said, well, we have seasonal guys that come help us clean out the gator ponds in the back. I said, okay, that's fine, but where do you put the gators while we're cleaning the gator ponds out? And, oh, no, we don't move the gators, but we do put you in a rowboat. So I had declined that job, and see, I still have both arms and all 10 fingers, but I'm sure somebody does a very good job at cleaning the hyacinths out of the gator ponds. I came with an official City of Orlando proclamation in honor of today, and I'd like to read that now. Whereas Owen and Pearl Godwin opened Gatorland in 1949 as a roadside attraction, which today has grown into a theme park and wildlife preserve that combines old Florida charm with exciting exhibits and entertainment. And whereas today Gatorland offers families affordable fun, including exhibits featuring thousands of alligators and crocodiles, a breeding marsh with observation tower, petting zoo, nature walk, educational wildlife programs, and a one-of-a-kind reptile shows. And whereas Gatorland is one of the first theme parks that helped Orlando become what is today known as the world's vacation destination, and whereas the primary mission of Gatorland has always been to provide guests with fun, smiles, and special memories, and whereas the founder's son, Frank Godwin, designed and built Gatorland's historic Gator Mouth entrance in 1962 to encourage passersby to stop and visit the park, and whereas Gatorland's historic Gator Mouth entrance has become a symbol of the entire Central Florida region that is recognized nationwide and across the globe And whereas today we celebrate the 50th birthday of Gatorland's historic Gator Mouth, now therefore I, Mayor Buddy Dyer, hereby do proclaim Thursday, December 20th, 2012 as Gatorland's historic Gator Mouth Entrance Day in the city of Orlando.
Mayor Dyer, thank you so much. That is just a true honor, and we do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, coming out and singing with us. So I'll tell you what we're going to do now, folks. Oh, we got a basket for you here, Mayor. We'll let Brooke handle that. Yeah, he was hoping to take Pearl, the albino gator, home, and that ain't going to happen. She's ours. But I'll tell you what we're going to do now, folks. We've got a big, beautiful cake. We're going to bring it out, try and get a few photographs of it right here in front of the gator mouth. Then we're going to take it over there and cut it up. All of you are welcome to come on over here in just a minute, grab a piece of cake. We've got some champagne, some water if you're not into the champagne, and we're going to kind of stop from the formal session of it. Just grab you some cake, some water, enjoy the fellowship and the friendship, and that's what we do with all of you folks. We wouldn't be around 62 years later here if it wasn't for the support and the love of everybody in the community. So thank you so much for coming out. We're going to take a few photographs.